दधियादिकं मोहवशाद वोच दध्यादिकं मोहवशाद वोच गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति। गाइए। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। जिह्वे पिबत्स्वा अमृतमेत देव। गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति। विक्रेतु कामा किल गोपकन्या, मुरारी पादार पितचित्तवृत्तिः। दधियादिकं मोहवशाद वोच गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति। हरि नाम का आश्रय लेते हुए
we have taken the shelter of Harinam or chanting of the holy names. I welcome you all, the devotees of the Lord. Harinam's glories are amazing. Sometimes the people of this world think that reading the Vedas or mental speculation or doing a huge fire sacrifice or yajna are the best practices, and it's a huge achievement. As Harinam is very easy, so the chanting of the holy name seems easy. That is the reason there is not much faith and trust in the chanting of the holy names. But in this world, the most favorite thing to the Lord, the greatest elevated devotee of the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that the gopis are the eternal, the highest of the devotees. And Narad Muni says that they are the best teacher or inspiration to follow. Sri Bilvamangal Thakur says in Krishna Charitamrut,
विक्रेतु कामा अखिल गोप कन्या, मुरारी पादार पित चित्त वृत्ति। गोपियों की चित्त वृत्ति, गोपियों का मन, गोपियों का दिलो दिमाग मुरारी
the heart and all the senses of the gopis are engrossed in the lotus feet of the Lord. And with their body, they might appear to be working for the material world, in the material world, like milking the cows or making curd and butter from the milk, and to sell that milk products in Mathura. So all these were the duties of the gopis or the damsels of Raja. So exteriorly, it may appear that they are working all these activities, but internally their heart and their mind was all engrossed at the lotus feet of the Lord. So whenever they used to go sell the milk products, vikrit means to sell, and when they used to go to sell, as their mind and this heart was totally surrendered to the Lord, so although they go to sell the curd and milk products, but they forget everything and they start selling Govind, calling all his names. Instead of saying that take the curd, but they are so much strongly attached to the lotus feet of the Lord. So they, instead of saying the names of the milk products, what they're going to sell, they used to call Krishna's different names as they are eternally chanting the holy names of the Lord. And such gopis, although might appear to be working for their families, but constantly they are chanting the holy names of the Lord. So there is a very beautiful question that has been asked from Chandigarh, Punjab, from Ishita Sharma, and she has asked, so how would we differentiate whether we are following what the acharyas have mentioned, or how, or are we following what they are doing? And if we are just
बहुत सुंदर पॉइंट है कि हमें आचार्यों का अनुसरण करना चाहिए.
So we should always follow the acharyas, whatever path. So that means that we should always follow them behind them. So there is a, what is the difference between anukaran and anusaran? Anukaran means if some acharya is in a position with the stage of bhakti and he is doing something, but that situation is not similar to us. So, and if we try to do that, then that means it is anukaran. So, we have to do what our acharyas are doing, but before we should judge our situation as well. Example, Narad Muni calls the gopis as the acharyas or scholars. So we have to follow them.
फॉलो करना है.
So according to Bilva Mangal Thakur, the gopis were always chanting the holy names of the Lord. So we should follow the gopis and chant the holy names of the Lord.
अब जब हम हरि नाम जाप करते हैं, भगवत नाम जाप करते हैं, तो एक मुश्किल सबकी होती होगी.
So whenever we are chanting the holy names, we all face one thing. So Baldev Bhai has asked a question from USA Orangeburg. He says, while chanting the holy names, whether we should close our eyes or keep our eyes open. If we are sitting in front of the deities.
So पहले तो मैं आपको ये कहूं कि जब हम भगवान
first of all, I should, and then whenever we are sitting in front of the deities, then why we keep our eyes closed? People travel so much from US to India and Vrindavan, and then when they go and see the Banki Bihari temple, and we close our eyes. So why? So first, whether we should open our eyes in front of the deities or closed. So when we see the Lord, we should try to see the Lord and his ornaments. And then why do we close our eyes? So whatever part we have seen of the Lord with our eyes, so that we can conceal that picture or image in our eyes, so that in future we can remember the image. So when we are chanting the holy names in front of the deities, then shall we open our eyes or shall we keep our eyes closed is a question. If we close our eyes and chant the holy names, then we should try to contemplate or meditate on the holy names of the Lord. But if our eyes are open, then we should look at each part of the body of the Lord and chant the holy names, remembering them. But we cannot clearly see the Lord, and we won't be able to relish the taste of seeing the Lord until unless we have heard about the Lord. So, until unless we have heard about the glories of the lotus feet of the Lord by the Acharyas, then only we will be able to relish the taste of seeing the deities. So when we are chanting and in front of the deities, we should see the each limb and part of the body of the Lord.
अभी दो प्रश्न हो कि भाई हम भगवान को देखकर हरि नाम जाप करें कि फिर आंखें बंद करके हरि नाम का ध्यान करते हुए जाप करें.
So now if there is a question that whether we should chant the holy names meditating on them or we should see the Lord. So the first stage is we should concentrate on the names of the Lord with closed eyes and chant the holy names. But the next level should be after seeing the glorious or magnificent face of the Lord or parts of the Lord, we see them and chant. And if we have not much attachment to either of them, then we should balance both the parts. We should sometimes chant, meditating on the holy names, or by seeing the deities. Bilva Mangur Thakur says beautifully, today we are not relishing the holy names of the Lord. By force, we are chanting the holy names of the Lord. But this is the process that sitting with the devotees, when we chant together, gradually we will elevate ourselves to the level of the gopis, the highest exalted devotees of the Lord. So, as somebody who is suffering from jaundice, he doesn't feel sweetness even in the sugar cane. His taste buds are not able to judge the sweetness because he is diseased. But to relieve them from that disease is to eat more sugar cane. So initially it doesn't taste sweet, but gradually when the disease is cured, similarly we will be gradually relishing the holy names of the Lord. So the chanting of the holy names is sweet, but we are not able to relish it because we are diseased. But the process is that we continue to chant the holy names of the Lord like eating the sugar cane. When our heart is purified, and then we will relish the taste of the Harinam or chanting of the holy names. We will relish it so much that although we will be working externally for the world, but internally we will be always chanting the holy names of the Lord. Shrimad Bhagvat has a beautiful pastime of Ajamil who had sinned throughout his life, but at the time of his death, he took the name of Narayana and he was liberated. So today's people are very intelligent. They will say that while we are dying, we will remember the Lord's name and then we will get liberated. But who has not taken the holy names throughout their life cannot chant the holy names, the holy names of the Lord at the time of death. So now the senses are working, but at the time when we are near to approaching to death, that time the senses won't work. So if we practice and to contemplate on the holy names and the Lord, then only we will be able to achieve this goal. So We are really beautiful that we are gathering together and chanting the holy names of the Lord. And then we listen to the Shrimad Bhagavatam. Sri Jiva Goswami says, in Kali Yuga is the Yuga of Sankirtana or chanting the holy names. Even in Bhagavatam, it's mentioned Yagya Sankirtanam. So, Kali Yuga, in the Kali Yuga, the most intelligent will do the Sankirtana Yajna. So, what is the meaning of Sankirtana here? Sankirtana has many meanings. It means Samyak means complete and Kirtan means chanting. So, Kirtan means singing the glories of the Lord is called Kirtan. And his types are, his Kirtan is by two types. First by Bhagavatam or other by chanting the holy names. And if we want to complete it, Samyak Kirtan, then there is a level in that as well. First, you sit alone in your home and chant the holy names of the Lord. That is Sankirtan. Sometimes people say that he's chanting the holy names alone. Then if your mind is and heart is pure, then you're associating with your heart and mind. But if it's not pure, then it becomes asat or untruthful chanting. The other is sitting with devotees and then chanting the holy names. It is also called as Sankirtan. And the highest category of the all is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did in Srivas Angan and Mayapur Jagannath Puri's marketplace with all the devotees taking the mridang and all the musical instruments, dancing without any shame and engrossed and enthusiastic in chanting the holy names is called Sankirtana. So if we do Sankirtan like that, Mahaprabhu says, even if we do for a small time, fraction of time, then also we will achieve Bhagvat Prema. So this is the greatest process and which we are performing through the medium of chanting the holy names and by dancing and singing the holy names. So we have taken the highest subject from Shrimad Bhagavatam, and to understand that from the material platform we have to raise to the spiritual platform, and the only process we have is to achieve that is through Sankirtana. So let's do Sankirtana for 10 minutes and raise our consciousness towards transcendental platform. We have to reach to Vrindavan from wherever we are. So let's do Sankirtana for a few minutes and reach Vraja, and then we will continue with the Katha from Vrindavan.
वला किशोर जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय जय माखन चोर जय जय माखन चोर। श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। उपस्थित
Hare
भगवत
Krishna, I welcome you all, the devotees who have gathered here. I especially want to welcome the senior devotees of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness Iskcon, and from all the parts of the world through the medium of Facebook, YouTube, etc., who all are listening, the listeners of this Katha, and I heartily welcome from their pure heart who have organized this beautiful Bhagvatam Katha, Shri Chaturbhai Kamla Ben's family, in which Shri Radha Shyamsundar Prabhu, Savita Mata, and their daughters, Bhumika Ben and his husband, Sunil Prabhu, Parul Mata, Manisha Ben, Sandeep Kumar, and all the kids. They have gathered everyone together here. So, I welcome you all on the second day of the Shrimad Bhagavatam Katha. I welcome you all, and our humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Radhe Shyam.
श्रीमद् भागवत भ्रमर गीत.
So, Shrimad Bhagavatam, the song of the honey bee.
पूरा तो भ्रमर गीत में उतर नहीं पाएंगे, परिचय टाइप ही होगा.
So this will be an introduction because the complete Bhramar Geet will be tough. So this is the song, the mood of the mellow of separation. And sometimes in this world, separation is not considered good. But in the spiritual world or in the world of love, the importance of being together and similarly, the mellow of separation is also necessary. If you have always togetherness, then you won't be able to enjoy. And if you are separated forever, then also it will not work. So for all of us, the goal for love is Krishna. So all those who have gathered here have burned their fingers with love in this material world. And I like that. Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans, a person came and asked that, I want to learn how to love. So he said that, have you ever loved anyone? So he said that, no, I haven't loved anyone. So Ramakrishna ji asked, maybe you have loved your parents or your some girl. So Ramakrishna Paramahansa told that you should leave at once because you don't even have an iota of love. So in this material world, we have all experienced love, but our center is the love or Krishna or Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whenever I say the word love you understand in as Krishna Prema or
तो
the love
प्रेम
towards
केवल
the
वियोग
Supreme
भक्ति में
Personality of
कई
Godhead.
बार हमारे प्रश्न उत्तर में भी आते ना कि हम
Sometimes
नहीं
people
भगवान के
ask in
दर्शन कर सकते हैं,
question and answer
हम
as well
मंदिर
that
नहीं जा सकते,
we
तो
are not
वियोग
able to see the deities, we're
तो
not able
भक्ति
to go
राज्य में
or visit
केवल
the
वियोग
temple.
ही
So
वियोग
that
होगा
is the separation.
तो
So if
निराशा बनी
in
रहेगी,
spiritual
हर
world
भक्त के मन में
or in
निराशा रहेगी।
our bhakti, if
और
we are
भक्ति राज्य में,
always
प्रेम राज्य में
separated, then
केवल
we will
संयोग
be
ही संयोग
hopeless.
होगा
And at the same
जहाँ
time,
पे
if we
प्रेम
are
की गति
always
रुक जाएगी,
near
एक सर्टेन लेवल तक
our
प्रेम
beloved,
एक
then
लिमिटेशन में बंध
the
जाएगा, वो आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा।
limit will, the love will
प्रेम को आगे
stop
बढ़ाने
at
के
one
लिए, उच्च स्तर पर ले जाने के लिए वियोग,
point and it will not progress further. So
सो
separation
प्रेम
is
राज्य
also
भक्ति राज्य में
necessary.
केवल वियोग रहे तो निराशा होगी, केवल संयोग
So
रहे
if it's
तो
only
प्रेम की
separation,
गति
then
रुक
it will be
जाएगी।
hopelessness. And if
इसलिए
it's
दोनों चाहिए।
constant
आपका तो अनुभव भी होगा
togetherness, then
कि
we will
बहुत
not progress.
वियोग के
You
बाद
might
जब
have
संयोग होता है ना तो प्रेम बढ़ता है
experienced that after a long
और
separation, when we meet, the
जब
intensity of love
संयोग होता है,
increases. And
जब
when
प्रेमी
we
के
meet,
माधुर्यता का एहसास होता है, प्रेम का
we
माधुर्य
can
प्रकट होता है,
enjoy the
लेकिन
magnificence
जब
of the
वियोग
lover
होता है
more.
तब
But
प्रेमी
when
का
we are in the
ऐश्वर्य
mood of
प्रकट होता है।
separation, that time
આખું
the
જીવન આપણે કઈની નિંદા
opulence
કરી હોય, આપણા
or
બાપ દાદા
magnificence
પરિવારની સેવા ન
of
કરી હોય અને પછી
the
ગુજરી જાય ને
lover
ત્યારે આપણે કહીએ બહુ સારા હતા, એની જેવું તો
manifest.
કોઈ નહીં,
So
પણ
when
देखा कभी
someone
कुछ नहीं किया।
dies, we
ये
never,
सब गुजर जाते हैं,
we
बाद में ही हम
after
उनका
somebody is
ऐश्वर्य,
dead, we
उनकी लीला उस समय
try to
ध्यान में आता है
tell
और
the
बाद में
glories of
पछताते हैं।
them.
कोई सच्चा संत, कोई सच्चा साधु
Only at the time of
जब
separation
समाज से
we
निकल
can
जाता है ना
understand the
तब एहसास
glories
होता है यार
or the Aishwarya Bhav
साधु ने
or
हमें संभाल कर
magnificence.
रखा था। मुझे वो कवि का पद याद आता है
So I
कि आज
remember
की युग
one
में साधु संत को
verse
कोई पूछ नहीं
from
रहा,
a poet
कलयुग
that
है,
in Kali Yuga, the
लेकिन
age of
साधु
cruel
की
and
महिमा
hypocrisy,
संत न
nobody
होते जगत
values a
में
true
तो
saint or
जलता वो
sage.
संसार है। ये
But
संसार, ये जगत कब का जल कर राख हो गया
if
होता
the saints were not there in
यदि
this world,
संत इस
the
धरती पर
world
न
would have
होते।
been
ये तो
burned
संत है
to
इसलिए सब
ashes.
टिका हुआ है,
It's
लेकिन
due
संत चले गए।
to the
फिर बोला
potency
जाने
of
लगा
the
नहीं वो तो बहुत
sages
अच्छे थे, अच्छा स्वभाव
that the
था,
world is
हमें तो
survived.
ये
So after
जीवन में
someone
समझ
dies,
नहीं पाए,
we
जिंदगी
praise
समझ
them,
नहीं पाए, ऐसे ही
and
होता है।
while we are person is alive,
इसलिए
nobody
जीते
values.
जी यदि विरह हो जाए ना,
If
ये तो मर जाने
we
के बाद विरह हुआ,
are
जीते जी यदि
separated
थोड़ा सा विरह
when
हो
we are
जाए
alive
तो
instead of
वियोग
being
को समझ
dead,
जाते हैं।
then
अब मेरी बात
only
समझ
they
रहे
will
हैं?
understand the mellow of
इसलिए भक्ति
separation.
राज्य में, प्रेम राज्य में
So in
संयोग और वियोग
the
दोनों की आवश्यकता है। और
spiritual
हमारे
kingdom,
प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ में, हमारे
both
भक्तिमय
are
जीवन में
important.
हमें दोनों स्थिति आती है,
And
लेकिन एक
when we are
संयोग आता है
doing this
जब भगवान के मंदिर में जाते
pure loving
संयोग आता
devotional
है
service to the
जब
Lord, we
गोपियों
get
की याद करते हैं,
more
और
both the
जब वियोग
experiences.
होता है तो रोते रहते हैं कि हमें मंदिर
So
में
when
दर्शन नहीं मिला, ये नहीं मिला।
we are
अरे
in mood
सिचुएशन
of
को समझकर
attachment or togetherness,
उन
then
दोनों सिचुएशन
we
का
remember
ज्ञान
the
लेना
gopis.
चाहिए।
But when we are in separation,
भगवत
we just
संयोग में
cry. We should
भगवान के
try
साथ
to
माधुर्य
use
और
both the
भगवत विरह में
situations
भगवान
to
का प्रेम।
benefit and progress in our bhakti.
सो इस प्रकार से प्रेम का ये तरीका है।
So this is the
બીજા
way
કોઈ પ્રશ્ન
the
પૂછો,
love
આમ બધું સહજ
should
મને પૂછો, મારે તમને કઈ
be
પૂછી શકું કે નહીં હું તમને?
done. So I have a question for all of you.
મારી બાજુમાં આટલા બધા ખોડાણા છે, અમાર ગુજરાતી કાઠિયાવાડીમાં કે ખોડાણા છે આટલા બધા, ये इतने ही नहीं है, बहुत सारे हैं, ये सब मैं देख रहा
So
हूँ। मेरे पास ये सारी सुविधा गोविंद टीवी ने दे रखी है।
I
तो
can see everyone here
तो
through
मैं
the
आपसे
medium
प्रश्न पूछूं, प्रेम
of Govind
प्रेम
TV.
प्रेम आप तो बहुत सुनते होंगे,
So you all have heard about love
लेकिन
so much,
उसका ऑपोजिट क्या होता है? चलो
but
बताओ।
what is the opposite
देखो
of
देखो
love?
प्रेम को समझने के कभी कभी क्या होता है ना, किसी शब्द के ऑपोजिट शब्द
So
को यदि समझ जाए तो ये
when
वाला
we
शब्द अच्छे
understand the
से समझ में आ
opposite
जाएगा।
word, then we can
तो यदि मैं
understand the
आपको कहूं
exact
कि
word
प्रेम का
more.
ऑपोजिट क्या, एग्जैक्ट
So what is the exact opposite of love? Sometimes people will say, if we know so much, then we would not call you. We have invited you so that you can speak. Otherwise, we could have done the katha on our own. So, love, the opposite for word love is almost selfishness. Swarth or selfishness. When there is love, there cannot be an iota of selfishness. But when there is selfishness, then there cannot be any love. When there is no desire for fulfilling our sense gratification, and if even for a while we feel that we are we want to satisfy our senses, then the bhakti can be destroyed. So everything, every work should be centered around the Lord. That is pure love towards the Lord, Krishna Prema. And to achieve that, we have to renunciate everything that we have and surrender everything to the person whom we love. So sometimes people in bhakti they cry because the path of love is not easy. So a head which cannot be beheaded for love cannot, then they should not go to the path of love. The gopis have said that that nobody should love when only you have that courage and power to surrender everything, then only you should pursue the path of love. All our effort and our work should be to make our beloved happy and satisfied. And when we think about our own happiness, then that is selfishness. The mellows of the gopis are to make their beloved happy. Sometimes they show that we need something from the Lord, that you fulfill our desire. It seems that the gopis are asking for their own sense satisfaction or gratification, but that is externally. Internally, they have the mellow of to make their beloved Krishna satisfied and happy. And there is a test of our love, and the gopis' highest test was at the time of Rasa Leela. At the time of Rasa Leela on the day of Sharad Purnima, so gopis were waiting for Krishna to call them, and when Krishna played on his flute, the gopis left everything behind and they came to go towards Krishna. Sukdevji says that some gopis or the damsels of Raja who were serving their in-laws or husbands, they left everything even the household work that they were doing, even they left their infant kids whom they were feeding, and yet they dropped everything and went to Krishna and surrendered at the lotus feet of the Lord. And when they came, then Goddess Krishna says that was the biggest test even by Krishna to them. So, so these is a Krishna who has done so many proclivities by stealing the butter and for to get whom they prayed at the lotus feet of Katyani Devi. And after the stealing of their clothes, they were promised to have Rasa Leela. And now he has called them, and when they have left everything and came to Krishna, then Krishna says, why have you came here? And this was the test for the gopis. Krishna says, why you are here? So if we apply this to our life, if our beloved says that we will go to the restaurant or a movie in the weekend by Miss Samira, and but on that day we are ready to leave, and if we tell our husband that okay, let's go, and if he says that when did I say that we will go out, at that time the environment that happens, that time we know the actual level of our love. And here Krishna has already given them the benediction of Maharaj and has called them by playing his flute. And then still he asked that why you are here, you should all return to your home. This was the highest test with Lord Shri Krishna. If we were there in front of Krishna, then we would have fought and we will do the same. If the wife says that I will cook something and she doesn't, then there will be a fight. But this love for of the gopis or damsels of Raja is purest of the pure. So they say that you promised us and you called us by playing the flute. Now that we are here, you're telling us to leave. Oh, our beloved, we have left our husbands, our house, and if we go back, who will accept us? But still, if you want us to leave, we will leave. But there is one obstacle that by leaving you, if we leave you, then you will be defamed. Because what do you think that after leaving you, will we be able to reach our home? No, Krishna. This body will not able to reach the home. We will leave our body, and people will say that Krishna called them and returned them. That is why they lost their lives or left their bodies in the mellow of separation. So you will be defamed. That is our anxiety. So when we see this holy scriptures like Mahabharata or Bhagvatam, the, the most time who spent with the Lord is Arjuna. When Arjuna would visit Dwarika, his Krishna's wives will get worried and anxious because they used to ask that has he married Arjuna or has Krishna married us? And in Bhagavad Gita, Arjun says that you are my friend. And that is why I'm giving you this transcendental knowledge.
ठीक है, और गोपियां
So
भी
Arjun
कृष्ण
is
की ही
beloved
है।
of Krishna,
यदि
and
हम दोनों को थोड़ा
similarly
सा कंपेयर
the
करें, क्योंकि हमें तो इनकी परिक्रमा ही करनी है ना,
denizens of
तो यदि
Raja, the
हम
gopis, are also
अर्जुन,
beloved of
फिर से मैं याद
Krishna.
कर रहा हूँ, अर्जुन
So if we compare them both,
के रोम रोम से कृष्ण का नाम निकलता है।
Arjuna's
कि वो कथा भी आप
all the limbs used to chant the
किस
holy
प्रकार से
names of
अर्जुन
the
सोते
Lord.
हैं, लेकिन अर्जुन के रोम रोम से कृष्ण कृष्ण निकलता है, ऐसा शुद्ध भक्त।
He is such a great
लेकिन
devotee of the
अर्जुन के
Lord.
साथ यदि गोपियों को रखा जाए,
But if we
दोनों
compare
के
him
प्रेम की
with
परीक्षा ली
gopis,
जाए कि दोनों में से कौन महान,
that
तो
who is
हमें
greater,
कहना तो यही पड़ेगा।
then we will have to say
अर्जुन
or
को
admit
मैं आपको दिखाऊं, अर्जुन के सामने कृष्ण ने उपदेश दिया क्या, ये 2-3 श्लोक 4 श्लोक को ज्वाइन किया है। कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को क्या कहा, मन मना भव मद भक्तो मध्या जिमाम नमस्कुरु मामे वेश्वस युक्तेव आत्मानम मत परायण। गीता नवमस अध्याय 34वां
so
श्लोक।
this is the 34th verse from the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And what is Krishna saying? That you should focus your mind in me,
और
bow down to
मत
me,
परायण हो जाओ, मतलब रात दिन मेरे बारे में
and
सोचो।
only
फिर
focus
कृष्ण ये
on
भी कहते हैं ना
contemplating on me.
12वें अध्याय के 8वें श्लोक में, मयि
And in
एव
the 12th
तदादर्श
chapter,
मद
8th
बुद्धि
verse, he
निवेशय
says
निवश्यस्यसि मयि एव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशय। इसमें कोई संशय नहीं कि ऊर्ध्व
that there
गति
is no
होगी,
doubt
लेकिन मुझ में ही मन लगाओ,
if you concentrate or
अपनी
focus
बुद्धि
in your
मुझ में
mind
लगाओ।
or heart. And here he
और
says,
कृष्ण अंत
focus
में
your
क्या कह दिया,
mind
ये सब
in
पूरे
me.
18 अध्याय बोले,
So
और फिर
after
कृष्ण
saying
कहते हैं
all the 18
सर्वधर्मान
chapters,
परित्यज्य
what does
माम
Krishna
एकम
says?
शरणम व्रज।
That
देखो,
surrender on to only
कृष्ण ने
me.
अर्जुन को कहा कि ये करो, ये
And he
उपदेशवाचक शब्द था।
told Arjuna
यहाँ पर
to
कृष्ण
do.
को कहना पड़ा कि अर्जुन ये सब
So
करो,
Krishna was,
लेकिन इस प्रश्न
Arjuna
के प्रत्युत्तर
told
के रूप में जब
Krishna,
कृष्ण उद्धव जी को
Krish,
भेजते हैं,
Krishna told
तो
Arjuna
उद्धव जी को
to do
कृष्ण ने क्या कहा
something.
कि ये सब गोपियां
But
ऑलरेडी कर चुकी है, अर्जुन को करने
but
के लिए कहा जा रहा
here
है कि ये
when
करो,
he sends
और
Uddhav
गोपियां
ji
ऑलरेडी ये सब
tells,
कर चुकी
he
हैं। यहाँ
sent,
पर जो
he's
श्लोक है वो
saying that
कृष्ण
all these
उद्धव
gopis have
संवाद है,
already
और नीचे जो
done
है
what was
कृष्ण
told
अर्जुन
to
संवाद है।
Arjuna to
अब दोनों
do.
देख लीजिए आप,
That is the difference
इसी
between
बात को
them.
देखो, दोनों श्लोक मैंने साथ में इसलिए रखे, दोनों सेम
So I
है,
have
दोनों
kept
का मिलान
both
कीजिए।
the verses
मन
here
मना
so
भव,
that you
अब
can
आपको गोपियों के
compare.
लिए क्या कहा, ता
So what
मन
is said
मनस्का।
about the gopis?
आप थोड़ा सा संस्कृत समझ
That
सकते हैं। अर्जुन को नीचे नीचे अर्जुन को क्या कहते हैं,
what
मन
is
मना
he
भव,
saying to
अपना मन
Arjuna?
मुझ में लगाओ
That
अर्जुन।
focus
और
your
उद्धव जी को
mind
कृष्ण
on
ने क्या
me.
कहा,
And to
ता
Uddhavji,
मन
Krishna
मनस्का,
says
उस गोपियों का मन मुझ
that
में ही लग चुका है,
the
वो
gopis
चाहती है कि
have
मुझसे मन हटा दो,
already
तो हट नहीं
focused
रहा।
their heart
देखो
at
प्रेम की
to
ऊंचाई
me.
किसकी है,
So this is the
अर्जुन के
highest
प्रति अपना
level
प्रेम
of
है,
the love.
लेकिन गोपियों की ऊंचाई यहाँ पर आपको समझ में आएगी।
So we don't want to
कृष्ण ने
offend
क्या कहा
Arjuna, but
कि
I'm just we're
अपना
just
शरीर मुझ में
comparing
लगाओ,
to understand the
और
level of
गोपियों के विषय में
the
क्या कहते हैं, मत प्राणा, गोपियां अपना प्राण
situation
ही
or
मुझ में लगा चुकी
the
है।
gopis. So he's saying
और
that they have
मेरे लिए
already
त्यक्त देही का, मेरे लिए
focused
अपना शरीर तक त्यागने के लिए तैयार है। वो
everything
सर्वधर्मान
on me.
परित्यज्य जो है ना नीचे
They
वाले
have
पद को,
they're
वहां
ready
पर गोपियों के
to
लिए
give
कहते हैं
up their
त्यक्त देही
body
का।
as well for me.
मामेव दयितम प्रेष्ठ आत्मानं मनसा गताः, वो मुझे इतना प्रेम करती है,
They love me so
आत्मानं
much
मनसा गताः,
that
मुझे ही अपनी आत्मा मानती है।
Atmanam Manasa means that they consider me as
सर्वधर्मान
their soul.
परित्यज्य के सामने ये तीसरी लाइन है,
And if
ये
you compare
त्यक्त
the third line
धर्माश्च। क्या कहा,
with
सर्वधर्मान
the
परित्यज्य, अर्जुन सारे छोटे मोटे धर्मों को
last line of
त्यागो,
the
लेकिन गोपियों के विषय
verse
में क्या
from
कहता
Bhagavad
है
Gita,
कि ये गोपियां
he
त्यक्त
says that
लोक
you have
धर्माश्च,
to
सारे लोक धर्म
leave
त्याग चुकी है, किसके लिए,
everything
मद अर्थे,
and
मेरे लिए।
surrender unto me. But the gopis have already done that.
तो
They have
कहने का अर्थ ये है,
left all
उद्धव जी
the
भी कहते हैं,
righteousness or the
अर्जुन
principles
को
of the
उपदेश
society.
देना पड़ा कि अर्जुन ये करो,
So Arjuna was told to do certain things, but he's telling Uddhavji that the gopis have already done that. They have totally focused on me and are fully surrendered unto me, and they have left all their righteousness and are surrendered to me. So this is the highest stage of the residence of Raja. So I have already mentioned, but let me remind you that how far was Braj from Mathura? If I say in Gujarati, if you throw a stone from Vrindavan, then it will reach Mathura. That is far. It is it is stones away. They could have walked or used a cart, but they cried throughout their life. They were in the stage of leaving their body, but yet not a single gop or gopi went to Vrindavan, to Mathura. Not even the cows and the birds of Vraj never crossed, because our Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has promised that I will come. You don't come, I will come to you. Instead of struggling on a daily basis, we could go. But if we go there, and if Krishna becomes anxious because he is also fulfilling his responsibility. What should I say? I couldn't sleep yesterday. Let me share one. Ratnakarji or Surdaji has written beautifully. Yashodaji sends a messenger. Just tell Devaki that Krishna is not our son. He is your son now. But because we have cared for him for 11 years, so I am his nanny, and tell Devaki Mata that the jurisdiction of a nanny. I just want to add that when Krishna wakes up in the morning, he likes to eat chapati and butter, and doesn't eat directly. You have to ready him. So, and in his situation, he might not remain hungry. She says that I agree that I am not the mother, but as a nanny or a servant, I just request you that you please take care of him. So this is the love. Love doesn't mean that we can do anything that we like. The love means that whatever is the request, or so that should be followed. If Krishna has told that I will come, then we should wait. So what we do? So if our Guruji is 5-10 miles away, we will go daily. And if we one day if he doesn't meet, then we will get upset that oh, he doesn't even meet us. We don't see what his mood is. We just think about our independence. But great are the residents of Raja. Nobody used their independence and never forced Krishna. So, such devotees of the Lord Shri Krishna sends Uddhavji, saying that I cannot forget Braja. And they are all very upset and sad. I told them that I will come in 3-4 days, but so many days have passed. You go and just convince them. So Krishna decorated Uddhavji, and someone who preaches about Krishna, then Krishna takes care of them. That is why Srila Prabhupada says that preaching is the essence, because Krishna loves the person who preaches or gives this knowledge to others. So Uddhavji is starting from Mathura. Uddhavji was given the clothes by Lord Shri Krishna. And at the last, Krishna tells that you can take my gold chariot. And Uddhavji came in that chariot. Why? When he reached Vrindavan, it's the evening time. Almost it's 4:35 o'clock in the evening. And it is called as Godhuli Vela. That means that the when Krishna used to take the cows back home, that time the cows are coming back. That is called Go Veli Dhuli. So Uddhavji, when heard about the gopis, so he had some image of the gopis. He had some preconceived notions about them, that everybody would be crying and sad in distress and mood of separation from Krishna. But when Uddhavji entered the Vraja, he didn't see what he has preconceived. There, Krishna was crying, but the Vrajvasis were not crying. He said that there is some error here. He said, some people were taking the milk from the cow. Some were taking care of their homes. Some were decorating their home. Somebody was praying. Some were making butter. And everyone in Braj was busy. And he says that I don't see any distress or sadness here in Braja. But Uddhavji was unaware that because Uddhavji is knowledgeable, even we don't understand. A person who loves Krishna not cry day and night for Lord Shri Krishna. It doesn't happen like that. Gopis love Krishna. Even in that situation, they were doing their household chores. And if we see from Uddhavji's eyes, nobody has any distress. So if someone is a beloved of Lord Shri Krishna, he can never feel distress. The Acharyas have said that a person who loves Krishna, 99% their problems get absolved. Only 1% problem is the separation from Lord Shri Krishna. Or other problems are removed automatically. So, what is the root of our problem or distress?
परेशानी का मूल है इच्छा.
So, the root of distress or sadness is our desires. This desire only becomes our problem. If the wish is fulfilled, then we become greedy, and if doesn't is not fulfilled, then we become angry and frustrated. So, this desire is the fundamental cause of all our problems. But if someone loves Krishna completely, then they will not have any desires for their sense gratification. When there is no desire to satisfy or make themselves happy, then there cannot be any problem. The problem is because the desires are not fulfilled. But when you have no desire, then what trouble you can have? So a person who loves Krishna, they will not have any own desire. So 99% problems of this material world are removed. Only 1% trouble is the separation from the Lord. So what should we learn from this? Don't you are thinking that everybody would have been crying about to die or something? Udhavji was expecting that. But here, in Bhagavatam, it's mentioned that everybody is busy in their own work. This is the art. This is the art of love towards Krishna. We are all in the material world and we are all householders. So we should take care of all our responsibilities. But internally, our heart and mind should be focused on Krishna. Uddhavji reached Raj. He parked his chariot and he sat under the tree. After taking some rest for a while, one Gopa saw Uddhavji. He thought that has Krishna arrived here? So he was enthusiastic and happy. And he started running towards Uddhavji. And when he came near, saw that he's not Krishna, but he's looking like Krishna. He's very similar to Krishna, but he's not Krishna. So that Sakha or friend said, "Who are you?" Uddhavji says that I am a friend of Lord Shri Krishna. We use the word friend so many times. The real meaning of Sakha is with whom we eat together, that is our friend. And a person with whom we play is our friend. And the one with whom we become famous is our friend. Arjun is called as Krishna's friend. So they both became famous. Krishna and Arjuna became famous together. Similarly, it so happened with Sudama and Krishna as well. And Sakha also means Mitra or friend. So, what is the meaning of Mitra? Sanskrit is deep, and there are so many principles in the simple words. So Uddhavji says that I am his mitra. So a person whom we met, so there are two alphabets, mi and tra in mitra. Mi means milantam, that is to meet. Trayate means a person with whom we meet and who relieves us from our misery and ocean of repeated birth and death.
जिसको मिलने से हमारा त्राण हो जाए, हम तर जाए, वो है मित्र. यहाँ तो कि हम
That
जिसको
is
मिलने
a
से
mitra.
फंस जाते हैं.
In material world, we get entangled in friendship.
उद्धव जी ने कहा,
Uddhav ji said,
मैं कृष्ण का मित्र हूँ.
I am Krishna's friend or mitra.
का घर कहाँ पर है?
And he asked, where is Nand Baba's home?
उस सखा ने कहा कि नंद बाबा
Then
का घर खोजने
he
की जरूरत नहीं.
said that you need not to search for Nand Baba's home. You see this drain? If you go walk along the drain, so the drain from where this is water is flowing, that is the home of Nand Baba. That is not the water from the mountain or river or rain. But since the day Krishna has left, Nand Baba and Yashoda are crying so much that these are the tears of Nand Baba and Yashoda Mai. So when he reached Nand Baba's home, Shukdev Goswami says,
समागत्य कृष्णस्य अनुचरम प्रियम नंद प्रीत परिव्रज्य वासुदेव धियार चयत. जब कृष्ण के सखा आया है मथुरा
when Krishna's friend is here, when they heard, Nand Maharaj heard this, he became ecstatic and very happy.
कृष्ण का अनुचर, कृष्ण का सखा उद्धव जी को अगवानी करने के लिए नंद बाबा दौड़ कर
And Nand Baba welcomed him. He ran towards him and brought him inside and gave him a proper seat to sit. And he washed the lotus feet of Uddhav ji. So who is Uddhav? He is the friend of Krishna. And Krishna is Nand Baba's son. So he is similar to his son. But here, if you see in the verse, the son's position is at the lotus feet of his father. But Nand Baba didn't keep Uddhavji at his feet, but in his heart. He washed his lotus feet. He said that he have came from so far, so he massaged the feet of Uddhavji. So when the son goes to a foreign land, then nobody is there. And if someone from the same place reaches there and where they reach his village and this, so they ask about their son and they serve the friend so much love. When Uddhavji came, so Nand Baba called Yashoda Mai and said, see who is here. So one more information I want to add here. Since Krishna has left Braj, Yashoda Mai has not uttered a word. In Shrimad Bhagavatam, if you read, you never see a word Yashoda Uvacha throughout the Shrimad Bhagavatam. It's only after 100 years when she
क्या
leaves
है,
Krishna,
कृष्ण के चले
that
जाने के बाद यशोदा
that
बोलती
means
है,
that
यशोदा
after Krishna left, Yashoda
यशोदा
Mai
क्या बोले, किससे बोले,
became mute.
किसी से
What
कुछ
should she
बोला नहीं।
say? What shall she say? So she didn't
अब
said
नंद
anything,
महाराज का
anyone.
विलाप, यशोदा मैया का विलाप, और उद्धव जी बैठे हैं, शाम का समय हो चुका है,
So
भोजन आदि कर चुके हैं।
Uddhavji has finished
उद्धव
his
जी
meal
नंद बाबा को ज्ञान देते हैं।
and he starts preaching or giving knowledge
उद्धव
to
जी
Nand
कहते
Baba.
हैं कि आप लोग
Said,
जिसके विरह में रो रहे हो ना,
Uddhavji
खाली
says
समय
that
बिता रहे हो।
you are crying in
नंद बाबा
vain.
कहते हैं लेकिन मैं उसका बाप हूँ, मैं उनका पिता
Said
हूँ।
that I am his
उद्धव जी अपना
father.
ज्ञान चालू करते
And
हैं।
Uddhavji said,
न माता
starts his
उस
knowledge.
कृष्ण की, न कोई माँ है, न
He
पिता
said that
उस कृष्ण
there
का,
is
न
no
कोई
one
माता।
who is a father or mother of Krishna,
तस्य न भार्या, उसकी कोई न भार्या है, न
nor
सुतपुत्र,
he
न
has
उनका
any
पति,
wife or son.
न आत्मीयो, न उनका कोई आत्मीय है,
Nobody
लेकिन
is.
न देहो जन्म एवच, क्योंकि कृष्ण का देह ही नहीं है। अब उद्धव जी ने यहाँ से जो उपाय किया,
He has no
उद्धव
any
जी ने
bodily
छोटे से
relationship
उपाय
because he
किया।
doesn't even have a body.
उद्धव जी ने कहा न माता, कृष्ण की कोई माता नहीं है।
Uddhavji
नंद बाबा
says that
यशोदा के
he
सामने
has
देखते हैं,
no
तो ये कौन
father.
है, ये
Then
कह रहा
they're
है
seeing, looking at each
कि
other and say
कृष्ण की
that then
माता
who
नहीं
are
है,
we?
ये न पिता, बोले कृष्ण का कोई पिता नहीं है। तो नंद बाबा अपने आप को देखते हैं, बोले तो मैं
When
कौन,
he says that
न भारिया।
he
चलो
doesn't
ये भी
have
समझ में आता है कि उसकी
a
पत्नी
father,
नहीं है,
then
उसकी
Nand Baba
पत्नी
is
नहीं है,
looking
ये तो समझ
at
में आया
himself.
कि न भारिया,
When they say that
न
he is no
सुता,
wife, then that is understandable because he was unmarried at that time.
और फिर लास्ट में क्या कहा, न देहो, कृष्ण का
So
शरीर ही नहीं
he
है।
said that
नंद
na
बाबा
deho
बोलते
means
तो फिर हमारे
he
यहाँ
has no
आंगन में जो
body.
खेलता था वो कौन
Then
था,
they're thinking that who was
मक्खन
playing
की
in
चोरी करता था वो
our
कौन था।
home, who used to steal the butter.
उद्धव जी ज्ञान तो दे रहे हैं,
That she is giving the knowledge,
लेकिन नंद बाबा के पल्ले कुछ नहीं पड़ रहा
but
है।
Nand Baba is unable to understand anything.
भगवत गीता में जिस कृष्ण ने कहा पिता महस्य जगतो
In
माता,
Bhagavad Gita, the
मेरे
Krishna who
कहने का
says
अर्थ
that
ये है,
I
उद्धव जी
am the
की गलती
father
ये
and
है, ये मत
grandfather.
समझो उद्धव जी का
So
चौथा माला खाली।
doesn't mean that
उद्धव जी
Uddhavji
हेवन रिटर्न,
is
बृहस्पति से शिक्षा
not
लेकर आए हैं।
intelligent.
ये
He's
सब
haven't
मैं सिद्ध
returned.
कर दूं, अभी हम लोग ये नंद यशोदा के संवाद नहीं करना है, हमको गोपियों के पास पहुंचना है। फिर कभी ये पाठ मानेंगे कि ये वात्सल्य रस क्या है,
Someday
अलग
we
से
will
पढ़ेंगे।
discuss that what is this
लेकिन एक
Vatsalya
बात
Ras
बताकर मैं आगे बढ़ना
or
चाहता हूं
the parental
कि
affection
ये गलत नहीं
or
है,
fraternal
ये सिद्ध
affection.
कर सकते हैं कि कृष्ण के न कोई माँ है,
So this can
वात्सल्य
be
कर सकते हैं
proved
तत्व
that
की दृष्टि से। हम
if we
एवा
see
सुदेवा
with the
कृष्ण के
view
पहले
of
न कोई था,
element,
बाद में न कोई, जब कृष्ण के
nobody
पहले
was
कोई
there
न था तो उसका बाप
before
कहां से
Krishna and
आएगा।
after Krishna.
उसकी
So how
विधि के
can he
अनुसार,
have a father?
शास्त्रों के अनुसार तो ये सब ठीक
How
है,
can he have a
उद्धव जी का
mother?
ज्ञान एग्जैक्ट है, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम क्या है
So
जानते हैं,
Uddhavji's knowledge is exact, but the problem
सामने जो
is that
पात्र बैठा है वो
the
पात्र
character
इस
in
ज्ञान
front
का
of him
योग्य नहीं है।
is not suitable to
अब
have that
उद्धव
knowledge.
ठहरे ज्ञानी, ये था तत्व
Uddhavji
ज्ञान,
is
और नंद बाबा ठहरे
knowledgeable
प्रेमी। अब
while
प्रेमी
Nand
के
Baba
सामने
is a
जब ये
beloved.
ज्ञान की बात करोगे
So
तो उसका
in
पासा
front
दिखेगा।
of a lover or
कई बार
beloved,
कुछ प्रेमी
if you
लोग होते हैं,
talk
उसके
about
सामने वो
knowledge,
सृष्टि लीला शुरू करते हैं ना, तो उसका दिमाग चढ़ जाता है,
they'll not
ये क्या
understand.
सृष्टि लीला, सृष्टि में तो फंसे हुए हैं, कुछ
So
कृष्ण
if we
लीला, कुछ कृष्ण
discuss
चरित्र।
about the material
ये
universe, then
सरकार
the
ज्ञान
exalted
सही है,
devotees
लेकिन
get
पात्र ठीक नहीं है।
anxious that tell me about Krishna's pastimes
और
and
नंद बाबा तो
proclivities.
प्रेमी है, और प्रेमी में भी कृष्ण की योग माया से पूर्ण आवृत है। अब जो
And
देह
Nand Baba
ज्ञान
is
से
a
कृष्ण
lover,
को
and
परमात्मा
in
मानते हैं,
lovers,
और उद्धव कह रहा है कि न माता न पिता,
he
वो न किसका बेटा है, न उनके कोई माँ बाप है।
he has accepted
और
Krishna
नंद
as
बाबा
his
कुछ
son, and now he's saying that
अ,
Uddhavji is saying that
आप
he
देख
has
सकते हैं,
Krishna has no father or mother.
माया जवनिका छन्नम ज्ञातोक्षजम अव्ययम न लक्ष्य से मुड्ढ दशा नटो नाट्य धरो यथा। जैसे माता कुंती ने कहा था,
So as Mata Kunti
दुनिया में
said that in this
जीव और
world
भगवान के बीच में एक पर्दा होता है,
there is
माया
a
जवनिका,
curtain
जवनिका माने
of
कर्टन, पर्दा। वो कौन
Maya
सा पर्दा, बोले
or
माया रूपी
the
पर्दा।
external potency of
तो
the law
हमारे और भगवान के बीच में
between living
पर्दा
entity
नहीं होता है।
and the Lord. And which
लेकिन
Maya?
पता नहीं है
Because
दो
there are
पद
two
हैं,
types of
एक है
Maya.
योग माया का
So
पर्दा और
one
एक
is
महामाया का
Yogmaya,
पर्दा।
the internal
अभी
potency,
हमारे
and the
भगवान
other
के बीच
external
में
potency, that is
महामाया का
Mahamaya.
पर्दा है,
So right now
लेकिन जो
we
भगवान
have
के
the
शुद्ध भक्त
curtain
होते
of
हैं, प्योर डिवोटी होते
Mahamaya,
हैं,
but the pure devotees
उनके
of
और
the
भगवान
Lord
के बीच में योग माया का
have
पर्दा होता है।
the curtain of
और उस
Yogmaya
योग
in
माया के पर्दे के
between.
कारण
And because of that
भगवत्ता
curtain,
उनको नहीं दिखाई
they
देती।
cannot
उस
see the
योग माया के कारण
magnificence of
भगवान
the Lord.
उनको अपना संबंधी, अपना बेटा,
And
अपना
the
प्रियतम ही
Lord
नजर आते
appears
हैं,
to
और ये
them
भगवान की
as
इच्छा से
their
होता है, क्योंकि भगवान
relation.
चाहते हैं
And it happens
कि
so
जो
with the
लोग मेरे
desire of
भगवत
by the
अंश
desire of the
जनक हैं,
Lord.
मेरे माधुर्यता से प्रेम करें।
His
तो भगवान
desires
की इच्छा
that
से और
they should
अनंत जन्म की
love
साधना और
Him
भक्ति से नंद
not
बाबा
for
के
His
अंदर ये भाव आ
magnificence,
चुका है कि कृष्ण
but
मेरा बेटा है।
because
और
of the
उद्धव ने बांध
relationship.
बांधा यहाँ से
So,
कि न माता न पिता, ये न किसी का बेटा है, इसका न कोई माँ है न कोई बाप है। अब इसमें क्या हुआ, आपको
so
ईमानदारी से
what happened? Let me tell you
उद्धव जी
honestly.
बोलते गए, उद्धव जी ने और बोलना
Uddhavji
शुरू,
was
एक श्लोक और दिखाता हूँ
speaking.
आपको।
So let me show you one more verse.
नच
He
अस्य
said,
कर्म लोके, तुम्हारे बेटे कृष्ण का कोई कर्म भी नहीं
he
है,
said that he
यद्येन
doesn't
कुर्वन्ति
have
कर्मणि
any deed to be
यदार्थम
done by
सिद्धि
him.
साधुनाम। ये यहाँ पर प्रकट होता है इस
He
धरती का
manifests in this
उद्धार
material world
करने के लिए है।
to liberate
नंद और
this
यशोदा एक
world.
दूसरे के सामने देखते हैं,
Nand and Yashoda are
वही
looking
की
at each
आवाज
other.
सुनकर मेरे गोद में आकर रोने लगता था, और
A
ये उसने
person who,
देखा है कि
the
ब्रह्मांड
child
की
who used to be
रचना ना
scared of
करूं,
the cat,
ब्रह्मांड की
and
रक्षा करूं।
Uddhavji is saying that
यशोदा ने कहा
he
नंद बाबा
protects the whole
आगे सो
universe.
जाऊं।
Yashoda ji said, I want to go inside and sleep.
नंद बाबा बैठे हैं, उद्धव जी सुना रहे हैं।
And Baba is listening
अब
and
नंद
Uddhavji
बाबा
is
तो इसलिए
speaking.
सुन रहे हैं उद्धव को, उनका तो माथा चढ़ रहा है,
Nand
लेकिन
Baba
यशोदा
is
को जैसे
listening to
कृष्ण
Uddhavji
के विरह में नींद आनी नहीं थी, वो तो
because
जागरण कर ही रहा था।
he was
बोले आप
not
नहीं जागो,
able to
जागो
sleep
महाराज
anyway.
जी, मेहमान आया,
Anyways,
क्या
he
है
has
बताओ, सुन लेता हूँ।
he
लेकिन
doesn't
उद्धव
want to
के मन
sleep.
में क्या था,
So
जिज्ञासु
let
भक्त है,
me
बहुत अच्छा जिज्ञासु मिल गया,
listen to him.
ये सुन रहा है,
And
समझ में आ रही है।
Uddhavji was thinking that wow, he is an inquisitive
लेकिन उद्धव जी
devotee.
बेचारे कहाँ जानते थे कि नंद
But
बाबा को,
Uddhavji was unaware that
उद्धव
Nand
जी की
Baba
कोई भी बात पल्ले
was
नहीं पड़
unable
रही
to
थी,
understand
केवल
anything
उद्धव का
what he
आदर
was.
करने के लिए
And
बैठे थे।
due to just respect, he was
आचार्य जी
sitting.
कहते हैं कि
When
पंडित
Acharya
जी क्या
says,
कर रहे थे,
Panditji
5
was
घंटे की
saying
क्लास
the
लेकर के शुरू की,
pastime,
5
and
घंटे के बाद 2 ही लोग
after
बचे।
5 hours, only
पंडित
2
जी ने
people
कहा
were there.
इतनी भारी
So
सभा में 2 लोग तो अच्छे श्रोता हैं,
Brahmana was
तो
satisfied and
भगवान
happy.
की कथा
He said
सुनने
at
नहीं
least 2
बैठे,
people were
मैं
there.
साउंड वाला हूँ, ये
He
लाइट वाला
said,
है,
then
आप पूरी
we are
दुनिया
not
में
here to
साउंड और
listen to
लाइट
your
लेकर के नहीं
katha,
पहुंचे।
but we
बस पंडित
want
जी का
our
शुरू होता है,
lighting
नंद बाबा
and the
आदर से
sitting
महाराज करें
arrangements. So
और उद्धव जी। लेकिन कुछ लोगों को माइक चाहिए, एक बार माइक मिल जाए ना तो
if
श्रोता
someone
अपहरण
gets
ऐसा
the
होता है
mic,
कि बस आज ही इसको शुद्ध भक्त बनाकर ही छोड़ूंगा।
preach
उद्धव
so
जी
much that they
रात
think
भर
that they
नंद
can
बाबा को
change a
तपस्या देते
person into a devotee in overnight.
देते रहे।
So
सारा
Uddhavji
ज्ञान
was
दे दिया
giving the knowledge
और
freely.
ग्रंथराज
He
श्रीमद्
gave
भागवतम
all the
पढ़कर जब
knowledge.
जय बोले तो एनी क्वेश्चन,
When he
उद्धव जी
concluded, he said,
कोई
any
क्वेश्चन
question?
है आपका? नंद बाबा ने कहा एक क्वेश्चन है कि कृष्ण
Then
यहाँ कब
was
आएगा।
Nand Baba said that I have one
कृष्ण
question,
यहाँ
that
पर
when will
जल्द से
Krishna
जल्द कब
come here?
आएगा। अरे उद्धव जी, अब उद्धव का माथा दुखने लगा, बोले रात भर
Uddhavji
तो मैंने क्या किया आपके सामने।
got an headache now. He
नंद
said,
बाबा
then
लास्ट में
whole
इतना बोले,
night I
बोले
was
जो भी है उद्धव सब
preaching
अच्छा
you.
है, लेकिन अब
And
तुम
he
जाओ
said,
और कृष्ण को जल्दी
whatever you're
भेजो,
saying is
बस प्रश्न
good,
इतना है कि
but
कृष्ण कब
go
आएगा।
back and
अब
send
उद्धव जी
Krishna.
तो इसलिए प्रवचन कर रहे
And
थे
the
कि
only
जब
question he
कृष्ण
asked was,
लौट
when will
आए,
Krishna return?
लेकिन यहाँ पर तो कुछ और ही निकला।
Uddhavji was giving
उद्धव जी सुन्न हो गए, उद्धव जी का
the knowledge so
कुछ
that
लोग होते हैं,
they
हमारे
can
जीवन में भी थोड़ा बहुत
forget
होता है
Krishna.
कि बहुत
There are
प्रिपरेशन
few
होते हैं,
people.
सारी तैयारी सारे एंगल से सब कुछ हैं,
peop-
सोचते हैं कि समझा देंगे, और
Yes,
सामने वाला
and
सुनता है,
somebody
मुंडी भी हिलाता है,
wants to
लेकिन लास्ट में प्रश्न ऐसा पूछता है ना, लगता है कि
teach them
ये मैंने
or relieve them from
भगवत
all angles. But
भागवत हुई कि भैंस के आगे भागवत हुई, वो कथा नहीं जानते,
so
9 दिन तक
what happens is he listens, but ultimately he asks
और
such a question that it is like
राम कथा सुनने के बाद
saying the Bhagavatam to a buffalo.
बोले एक आदमी ने कहा
So
देखो
once upon
पंडित
a
जी ने
time,
बहुत
one
अच्छी कथा
person said
सुनाई, बहुत
that the
अच्छी।
Panditji has done
ये राम
beautiful
जी जो है
katha.
लंका के राजा,
Pastor, then
बहुत सुंदर।
Ramji, the
तो
king
दूसरे ने
of
कहा
Lanka, very beautiful.
सॉरी रावण जो है अयोध्या का राजा।
And others
तो
said
दूसरे
that
ने कहा
the
रावण
king
लंका
of
का राजा।
Ayodhya is Ravana.
बोले नहीं, रावण अयोध्या का राजा, रावण लंका का राजा। और उसी समय पंडित जी
So
अपने घर की ओर कार लेकर जा रहे थे, दोनों को झगड़ा किया। बोले
they
रावण
were
है
both
अयोध्या का
fighting.
राजा,
The other
तुम
was
क्यों
saying
कर
that
रहे हो?
he was the king of
बोले ये कहता है कि रावण
Lanka.
लंका का राजा, ये
So
कहता है रावण
Panditji
अयोध्या का
saw them
राजा।
and he said, "Why you are
लंका
arguing
का
here?"
राजा रावण नहीं, अयोध्या का राजा रावण नहीं, रावण तो मैं हूँ।
Panditji
रावण
said
मैं हूँ कि
that
आपके सामने मैंने राम जी को
I
बोल
am
दिया।
Ravana because I
क्योंकि
dared to
9
say
दिन
the katha
आपके
in front
सामने
of you.
बैठा,
After 9 days,
कुछ पल्ले नहीं पड़ा।
you didn't even
सुखदेव
understood the
गोस्वामी कहते
simple
हैं
things
नंद
from the
बाबा को इस
pastime.
प्रकार कथा सुनाते सुनाते
So
एवं निशा सा ब्रुवतो व्यतीता, निशा माने रात बीत गई,
the whole
एवं
night
निशा सा
passed.
ब्रुवतो
Nisha
व्यतीता।
means night.
नंदस्य, सुबह का अलार्म बज गया मंगला आरती वाला, तो नंदस्य कृष्णा चरस्य राजन। तो अब नंद बाबा ने कहा कि अब क्या करेंगे, रात तो निकल गई।
And Nand Baba
उद्धव
said,
जी ने कहा
the
कि
night has passed and the
तो मैं
morning is
यमुना
there.
स्नान करने जाता हूँ,
He said that
स्नान
let me
करके
just
फ्रेश होता
go
हूँ।
and have a
नंद बाबा
dip
ने कहा ठीक है, हम भी
in
आते हैं।
Yamuna Ji and freshen up
उद्धव
myself.
जी गए यमुना स्नान करने, और
Uddhav ji
स्नान
went to
करके
take a bath in
प्रायः
Yamuna Ji, and when
त्रिसंध्याकाल
he
में
came
बैठे,
back,
तो सुखदेव
when
गोस्वामी
he
कहते हैं
was
गोपियां
doing
समुत्थाय
his
पिबन्ति
Mangalacharan,
दीपान। उसी समय सारी गोपियां
at
मंगला
that time
आरती में जगी, ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में सुबह 4
all
साढ़े 4
the
बजे जग कर
gopis were
समुत्थाय,
venerating at the
जगकर
Brahma
सबसे पहले
Muhurata
क्या किया,
or
दीपान।
Mangalarti.
जूनो रिवाज छे दीवा बत्ती,
So,
सब
first
सुबह
of
सुबह
all, what they
जगकर
did
सबसे
was
पहले
they
भगवान
lit
के
the
सामने
lamp
दिया बत्ती होती है।
in front of the Lord.
बहुत
That
पुराना
is
रिवाज
the
गोपियों से
ancient
शुरू चल रहा है। तो गोपियां,
ritual that we follow till
अब
date.
दृश्य यह है कि उद्धव जी स्नान कर रहे हैं और स्नान करके संध्या
So
हो
Uddhav
रही
ji
है,
is taking a
और
bath
दूसरी ओर
and
गोपियां
he's
जगकर
preparing himself.
मिठाई
And on the other
बना
hand,
करके
the gopis have
भगवान को
taken the
नीवेद्य
bath
अर्पण कर रही
and
हैं।
they are offering the lamb to
और
the Lord.
वस्तुन समर्च्य दधिनत्य मंथान, और दूसरा वास्तु के अनुसार
Vastu
गोपियां अपने
means according to
चरणों
the
को
Vastu,
बहुत सुंदर
they were
उनकी पूजन,
decorating
उनकी पूजा कर रही हैं।
the doors and
वास्तु, वास्तव में वास्तु के
praying.
अनुसार, वास्तु शास्त्र, कई बार
So
हम लोग
that is a
वास्तु शास्त्र
science.
में बहुत ऊंडे
And
उतर जाते हैं,
sometimes people go very deep in Vastu
और
Shastra
वास्तु शास्त्र में इतना उतर जाते हैं कि घर का सारा प्लान प्लान बदल देते हैं।
that they change the
हम पूरे
entire
घर से शुरू
plan of
करते
the
हैं कि
home.
भाई किचन यहाँ, ठीक है वास्तु शास्त्र। देखिए वास्तु के ऊपर ही यदि 100% डिपेंड होता
If
तो
we
हमारा कर्म
can
कहाँ
depend
जाता,
on Vastu
हमारे जो
for
बुरे कर्म हैं
100%,
वो
then
सब कहाँ
what
जाते।
about the deeds that we have done?
वास्तु की जरूरत है, 20% तक वास्तु की
Vastu
जरूरत
is
है,
important
और
for
वही
10
हम चाहते हैं
20%
कि भाई घर का
in
दरवाजा
some
उत्तर
important
पूर्व की तरफ हो,
issues
सोते
that
समय
the
हमारा
door
पैर
should
दक्षिण
face
दिशा में न हो,
the
हमारा पाँव मंदिर की
east
तरफ न हो,
and
घर में
our
प्रकाश हो,
feet
हवा
should
आना
not
जाना
be
हो,
towards
ये
south
सब
or
वास्तु के
towards the
अनुसार है। यहाँ
temple.
तक ठीक है,
So that much is enough or
ज्यादा कृपा
sufficient.
करके फिर उसी पर डिपेंड हो जाना,
But
ये
if we
फिर
totally depend on that,
वो मार्ग नहीं है।
that is not the path of devotion
सो ब्रह्म मुहूर्त
or
में जगे
bhakti.
हैं, और अब यहाँ पर नींदी कहाँ थी, न गोपियों को नींद है, न नंद बाबा
The
को नींद है,
gopis were able
किसी
to sleep,
उद्धव को भी,
no,
ज्ञानी जो
nor
उद्धव
Vasudev
ज्ञानी है,
ji
ज्ञानी को
was able
नींद
to
नहीं
sleep.
होती,
And
ज्ञानी को
even
नींद नहीं होती।
Uddhav, who is knowledgeable,
सो इस प्रकार
doesn't
से हाँ
has
नींद किसको
sleep.
होती है,
So
अज्ञानी को।
who
जो
sleeps?
ज्ञानी
The
होता है वो
ignorant.
खूब सोता है।
He can sleep for
सो
hours.
बहुत सुंदर यहाँ पर गोपियों के लिए कहा गया, गोपियां
So
सब
here beautifully it is mentioned that
गोपियां
about the
ब्रह्म मुहूर्त
gopis
में जाग
that
गई।
they all woke up at the Brahm Muhurata.
मैं जब ये, आप सब लोग मेरे सामने बैठे हैं, लेकिन खास करके मधुसूदन प्रभु को देखता हूँ ना,
When I
सर
see
फूल
this,
जाता है।
I bow
ये
down at the
ये
feet of
ये
Madhusudan
3
Prabhu
बजे 3:30 बजे जग कर
because he wakes
4
up
बजे तैयार
at
होकर
3,
3:30 5 बजे
3:30
ऑफिस के
and
लिए
he readies
अर्ली
by
मॉर्निंग में निकल
4
जाते हैं,
o'clock
उनको ड्राइव
and he
करके
leaves
जाना
for
है।
his office
और
in
हमारे
early
कितने
morning.
11 बजे तक रात को चल
and our katha is till 11 o'clock, but yet he stays awake and listen. This is the mellow of bhakti.
और कभी कभी मुझे होता है कि ये सो जाए तो अच्छा है, तो सुबह गाड़ी सोते सोते चलाएंगे, कहीं एक्सीडेंट ना हो
Sometimes I feel that
जाए, चिंता
they
मुझे
should
होती है
sleep
कि कुछ भक्त
because I
ऐसे
get
होते हैं
worried that will they be able to
उनका
drive
बिल्कुल
carefully
जरूरत
in the
नहीं है,
morning.
क्योंकि मैं
It's not
ऐसा बोल रहा हूँ कि
necessary.
नहीं भाई आप अपनी सुविधा के
I
अनुसार,
have
लेकिन भगवत
accepted
प्रभाव
that
को देखो।
you should listen according to your convenience,
सुखदिका
but
आती है,
this is
बहुत
the
कुछ सीखने लायक
mellow
होता है
of a
जब हमारे
devotee.
भक्त बैठे हैं ना, सुबह ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में जग जाना, हाँ? दिन भर भजन क्रियाकलाप आदि में लगे रहना, गोपियां जग गई। हमारे वेदों में शास्त्रों में बार
The
बार
gopis were awake. In the Vedic scriptures, it is mentioned that we should wake up
भगवान
early.
जब द्वारिका गए
Even
और
the Lord,
द्वारिका में
when he
भगवान
went
श्री
to
कृष्ण ने
Dwarika
आदर्श गृहस्थ का जीवन बिताया।
and when he
आप सब
lived
जानते हैं
a
भागवत में ये कथा है कि एक आइडल गृहस्थ, आदर्श
idle
गृहस्थ कैसे होता है।
householder,
तो श्रीमद् भागवत में दशम स्कंद में अंत में इसका
in
वर्णन है
Srimad
कि
Bhagavatam,
कृष्ण
10th canto,
जब
it is mentioned
द्वारिका में
that
रहते थे,
Krishna,
द्वारिकाधीश की
when he
दिनचर्या
used to live
कैसी
in
थी
Dwarika
कि
as a
भगवान श्री
king,
कृष्ण एक आदर्श गृहस्थ के रूप में रोज 4
but
बजे जग जाते थे,
he used to wake up at 4
और
o'clock in
जग
the
कर
morning,
थोड़ा थोड़ा मुंह आदि साफ
and
करके एक आसन पर बैठकर
after
आत्मचिंतन कर। अब उसको आत्मचिंतन की क्या जरूरत, लेकिन भक्तों का
taking
चिंतन करते
bath
वक्त
and
वो
everything,
मुर्गा है और
he
मुंह
was
फटा हुआ गुदड़ी में
he
लेटा हुआ
used
है।
to do
तो भगवान को ये
self
भगवत
contemplation
भागवत में तो
or
ऐसे वर्णन है
atmachintan.
कि कृष्ण उठकर बेड से उठकर
So,
थोड़ा मुंह साफ करके फिर आसन पर बैठ जाते थे, आत्मचिंतन। अब वो आत्मचिंतन, भगवान आत्मचिंतन,
what is the
हम क्या
need
चिंतन करेंगे कि
for the
मेरे
Lord
जीवन
to
साथी
self
में
contemplate?
कौन जगा है।
He actually is thinking
तो
about
यदि हम सुबह
all the
जग
devotees
जाते हैं तो
who
जग
all
जाते
have
हैं,
woke up
भगवान
at
के
4
चरणों
o'clock in the
में
morning.
जाएंगे,
If we have woke up in
सोना
the
है तो
morning, then
कभी भगवान
the
के चरणों में
Lord
याद
will
नहीं आएंगे।
remember us. But if we are still
तो
asleep,
द्वारिकाधीश
then He will
भगवान
not remember us.
सुबह 4 बजे जग जाते थे,
So
फिर
the
आत्मचिंतन
king of
करते थे,
Dwarika
और
used to wake
आत्मचिंतन
up
के
at
बाद
4
फिर
o'clock in the
स्नान
morning
करते थे, फिर
and
स्नान करके
contemplate.
पूजा करते थे, फिर बाल भोग जिसको
So,
हम
and he
ब्रेकफास्ट
used to
कहते हैं,
do veneration, and
हमारी
then
माँ
he
दादी बहुत सुंदर ब्रेकफास्ट कराती थी,
meditate, and then he
और
used
बाल
to
भोग के बाद
have
भोजन
his
के बाद
breakfast.
तांबुल पान खाते थे, और
And after that, he
8
used to
बजे
eat the
अपने
betel
ऑफिस
leaves.
में पहुंच जाते
And
कृष्ण
8
कॉन्शियसनेस
o'clock, he
सेंटर में,
used to reach
और नाम था
his
उसका सुधर्मा सभा। और
kingdom,
सुधर्मा
a
सभा में
Sudharma
रहते थे
Sabha,
द्वारिकाधीश एक आदर्श गृहस्थ के रूप में,
and he lived
वहां
as an
जितनी भी
idle
समस्या
householder,
उनका
and he
समाधान,
used to
जिस
solve
दिन
all the
समस्या नहीं
problems
होती
faced
उस दिन
by the
भागवत आदि सद
assembly
ग्रंथों का पठन पाठन कराते।
of the ministers.
तो भगवान को ये सब करने की जरूरत नहीं है,
And what was the need
लेकिन
of
फिर भी भगवान
for the Lord to do
यदि
all
हम
this? But
द्वारिकाधीश
still, he
भगवान
does
हैं
it.
तो हमें मंगला आरती में जग जाना
And if
चाहिए।
we are the
जब हम इस प्रकार से
devotees
करते
of
हैं ना,
Dwarikadish,
तो
then
इसमें जो
we all
चार
should
अर्थ
wake up
होते हैं
at
ना,
4
चारों
o'clock.
अर्थ भी होते हैं इसमें है। तो क्या कहते हैं, प्रभु बात आपकी सब ठीक है, लेकिन हम
Some say
द्वारिकाधीश
that
के भक्त
whatever
नहीं, हम
you are
बांके
saying
बिहारी
is
के
correct.
भक्त हैं।
We are the
द्वारिकाधीश
devotees
के
of
भक्त
Baki
होके
Bihari,
4 बजे
not
जगते हैं,
devotees of Dwarikadish.
क्योंकि
Because if you are a
द्वारिकाधीश
devotee of
बांके बिहारी
Dwarikadish,
है,
then you have to
लेकिन
wake up
हम
at
बांके बिहारी के भगत
4
नहीं, बांके
o'clock.
बिहारी 8
But
बजे
we are
जगता
the
है,
devotees of Baki Bihari.
इसलिए हम वो बांके
He
बिहारी
wakes
का
up
हमको
at
अच्छा है।
8 o'clock.
देखो जिसके भगत हैं उसको फॉलो करना है,
So we
द्वारिकाधीश को
should
नहीं तो
follow
8 बजे वाला
the,
फॉलो करना पड़ेगा।
the
बांके
Lord
बिहारी है तो
form
भक्त लोग
which
जो है ना वो अपना मार्ग कहीं
the
ना कहीं से जोड़ लेते हैं।
devotees
इसलिए
find
बांके
their
बिहारी की
own
कथा
way.
आपने सुनी होगी, आए हैं तो
You
यहाँ
might have
आके
heard
विश्राम
about Baki
विश्राम
Bihari's
करने, मुझे
pastime.
ले ले हैं? क्योंकि तू मुझे छोड़ देगा तो मैं रूठ जाऊंगा, इसलिए बांके बिहारी ऐसे सामने आते हैं कि तू
So
अभी
he
ले
is
लेता हूँ।
coming in front of
तो
me,
बांके बिहारी
otherwise he'll
रोज
get
सुबह 5
upset.
बजे जगते थे,
So Baki Bihari used to get up
और
at
5
5
बजे
o'clock in the
मंदिर पट,
morning
ये वृंदावन बांके बिहारी 5
in
बजे मंदिर
Vrindavan,
पट खोलकर पुजारी पंडित
and
जी सेवा
the
पूजा
temple used to
प्रसाद
open. The
भोजन सब कुछ होता था।
Panditji used to do the
एक दिन क्या
veneration,
हुआ,
everything.
अब शाम को
And
8-9
one
बजे
day,
शयन
what
आरती
happened?
होती है, 9 बजे की शयन आरती
8
करके
o'clock or 9
घंटी
o'clock
लगा के
is
सबों
the
को
night
शयन करा के
aarti
पंडित जी घर
or
को चले
veneration.
जाते।
And after that, Panditji leaves.
और यहाँ पर भारत में जो
Here in
सिक्योरिटी गार्ड
India,
वॉचमैन जो होते हैं ना,
the security guard,
आप नाइट वाले जो वॉचमैन होते हैं ना, वो सोने के
especially in
लिए
the
नौकरी करते
night
हैं। मैंने तो
shift,
कभी भी मैं रात को
they
देखता हूँ सोया हुआ ही रहता
sleep
है।
and they
एक
get
एक
the
दिन
money for sleeping. But one time, the guard who used to take care of the temple was awake, and he saw 4 o'clock. Lord Banke Bihari is coming from outside. Krishna is cursed, and whoever works as a security, they sleep at night. But this day, person was awake, and he saw the Lord. He said that, how come you are out? You were supposed to be inside. He said then, let me go. Panditji will arrive. He said that, why you are coming from outside? The Lord said that I come daily. Today you are awake. That is why you know. I go out to Nidhi one to do perform the Rasa Leela. And once the Rasa Leela ends, I just hardly sleep for half an hour, and the Panditji comes and I have to wake up and do the veneration. Because the Lord was so much in hurry. He was bowing down at his lotus feet, but Krishna left. But, but he got the on anklet of the Lord and he kept it in his pocket. And when the pujari or the panditji came to open the temple, the guard said that, oh, my lord, you are disturbing Banke Bihari. He said, why? He said, he is not able to sleep properly. He said, why? He said, I saw that at 4 o'clock he came inside. When will he wake and when will he sleep? There is no point or opportunity to rest. He says that after 9 o'clock I have put him to bed, and you're saying that he was awake till 4 o'clock. He said that he goes throughout the night to perform Ras Leela and he comes at 4 o'clock. So the Panditji asked for the proof. He said, this is the anklet of the Lord. He said that this is what I have put on Banke Bihari ji. Then how come it's with you? He said that this is the proof. He was in such a hurry that the anklet was left with me. And then all the Pandits agreed that we are disturbing Banke Bihari. So now we should wake up Banke Bihari at 8 o'clock and we will do the veneration at 8. So after listening to that, please don't become the devotees of Banke Bihari. The lawyer has everything. They have all the ways. But Bhaki Bihari ji does the Leela whole night. We are the sadhaks or devotees. So here it is mentioned, not only Nand Baba, but the whole Vraj was awake in the night. And they all used to wake up at Brahma Muhurat in the early morning. So the gopis used to venerate and decorate the doors. And what did they do along with it?
उद्गायति नाम अरविंद लोचनम व्रजांगनानां दिवमस्पृशध्वनि दग्नश्च निर्मन्थन शब्दमिश्रितो दग्नश्च निर्मन्थन शब्दमिश्रितो निरस्यते येन दिशाममङ्गलम् निरस्यते येन दिशाम मंगलम। बहुत सुंदर है। गोपियां
The
प्रेम
gopis are the acharyas of love. Narad Ji has said that, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that the damsels of Braj, we are on the path of the gopis. We should follow them. And they used to wake up early morning and they used to sing. Ud means in high pitch they used to sing. Sometimes people chant the holy name. Nobody can understand the words what they're saying. Bhagavad teaches us everything. That you should sing, you should speak the name of the Lord in high pitch. And what should you sing? His name. Sometimes people say that you always sing about Hare Krishna. You should have something different. But the fundamental is what? They used to sing the names of the Lord. Arvinda Lochana means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose eyes are like lotus.
गोपियां कृष्ण का नाम गाती थी तो
the damsels of Raja, the sound vibration used to touch the sky, and the demigods even could hear the gopis singing. When we tell someone that we are not able to listen to you, they say that we have soft voice, but when you're fighting with someone, three people away, three people houses away can hear you. It means that you have the pitch, but we don't want to use it. The gopis used to sing in such a high pitch that even the demigods could hear. If we want to follow the damsels of Raja, then we should wake up at Brahm Muhurat early morning and sing our holy names of the Lord. That is the conclusion of all the scriptures. A few days back, when we were hearing about the glories of Shivji, so he sits in the cremation ground. And why does he sit there? So that nobody takes the name of the Lord, but only take the name of the Lord at the crematorium ground. So that is why Lord Shiva sits there, because that is the only place where people chant Ram Nam. There are two types of thing. One is filled with art,
हारमोनियम सेट करते हैं सारे गामा
who set half an hour the harmonium.
માઇક આવ્યા ભેગું તો આમ ઉપાડી લેવાનું હોય.
I couldn't understand. If you see in the music night or something like that, we You should just start singing.
મરણ મોંઘેરો માર કંઈક રાણા ને કંઈક રાજિયા હે મેલી ચાલ્યા છે સંસાર હે તે હરિનો રસ પીજી હે તે હરિનો રસ પીજીએ ये मैं ए करता हूँ तो आप डर मत जा, ये हिंदी वाले डर जाते हैं ये मतलब आने माता जी आया से ये हमारे गुजरात की स्टाइल है समझा तो ये वगैरह मेल नो माड़ी वीणे छे रूडा फूलड़ा रे कणियों करे छे विचार आज नो दीन रणियामणो हे काले आपड़े शीरधार हे ते हरिनो रस पीजिए हे ते हरिनो रस पीजिए હવે આમાં સૂર મેળવવાની ક્યાં આમ સૂર તો બરાબર જ હતો અને સૂર બરાબર થઈ જાય અને કદાચ સૂર ન થાય તો કોણ ભડાકે દેવાનું છે આપણને આમ તમારે સૂર મેળવો સૂર મિલના अच्छी बात
melody was correct so it is good to have a melody but if in the flow there is some error that is so there are two types of kirtan one is the art form and other is but the gopis is filled with mellows they didn't have any musical instruments but when you have the mellow then art the melody everything follows I never learned the music and but I am aware of the ragas and I do something because when you have the mellows then you will automatically get everything so when the gopis were singing the gopi Geet while crying or weeping so were they focusing on the melody
तू फगे तो तारो सूर फगे तू सूर थोड़ा नीचे रहना तू सूर ऊपर करना गोपियों ने ये सब क्योंकि 33 करोड़ गोपियां थी
because there were 33 crore gopis so had they set the tune no the mellow was important and the greatest knowledge we are trying to sing the gopi Geet but who can sing like the gopis this melody is important but if there is no feeling or emotion attached then it is futile so the gopi Geet was sung there was no music and no musical instrument but the bhava or the emotion was important
इस प्रकार
so in this manner what happened
अब ये गोपियां गा रही हैं बिल्कुल भाव से
the gopis were singing filled with emotion
तो उद्धव जी का मन गायत्री में नहीं लग रहा है
and Uddhavji could not concentrate in his Gayatri.
जब कथा शुरू होती है तो
So
आधी
when
माला जो बाकी रह गई है ना उसको कंप्लीट करना बहुत कठिन होता है
so when
कान कथा में रखे कि
the
माला में
katha starts, it becomes very difficult to finish the chanting that we were doing. So Uddhavji couldn't concentrate and he forgot the Gayatri because his focus was on the kirtan performed by the gopis. So that means that the Gayatri also follows the Mahamantra. And somehow Uddhavji concluded his veneration or Gayatri and he was searching. He started searching them. And the gopis also saw the chariot. They all came together on the road I said that whose chariot is this? This is the same chariot which Akrur, in which Akrurji took Krishna and Balram. If I put the verse in front of you, Shukdevji says,
भगवत उदिते सूर्ये नंद द्वारी व्रजो कस दृष्टाम रथम शतकोभम कस्या अयम इति चावृत। अरे नंद बाबा के द्वार पर ये रथ कहां से आ गया?
He says that whose chariot is it on the doors of Nand Baba, and this is the same chariot which Akrurji came in. And what is this chariot doing here? So all the Vrajas, the gopis of the Vraja were gathered and they were thinking that why is the chariot here? Whose chariot is this? Uddhavji is searching for from where the voice is coming. And here the gopis are asking each other these questions. And one gopi says, I know whose chariot is here and why, and who has bought it. The gopis start crying and say, oh friend, this is not the chariot of Akrur. He is not Akrur, he is Mahakrur, means the biggest, the cruelest of them all. He is the most cruel, who took our beloved Balram and Krishna and took them to Mathura. And there Krishna killed Kansa. And when somebody dies, they should perform the last rites and sacrifices. So Kans died, and 12 days passed, and the time to do the last rites was to happen. The gopis say, or the one of the gopis says that Kans is dead, and now they have to perform the last rites. So now the cruelest Akrur has come back, and he knows that in the sorrow or separation of Krishna, they are almost dead. So they want to do the last rites by us. So they want to take our heart because they know he knows that in the separation we will die or leave our body. That is why he is here. When it was said this way, Shukdev Goswami says that they were discussing like that, and Shukdev Goswami says, so this is the start of the honey bees. This is the first verse. From here it starts. So Uddhavji is coming from far, and the gopis thought that is Krishna. They understood that no, he is his friend. His hands were long. He was wearing yellow dress, and he had garland of flowers. And his friend is looking so much similar to Lord Shri Krishna. The gopis saw, and he's come from Mathura. So they took Uddhavji to a place, and they made him sit under the tree, and they started asking the question, who are you? From where have you come? Uddhavji was so much shocked that he was still in shock because he's preached whole night. He was numb, and the gopis were asking questions. Gujarat. Said in Gujarati, I don't want to speak anything. Uddhavji was quite unmute. The whole Bhramar Geet is in Uddhavji's situation where he is not speaking anything, he is mute. Uddhavji is numb. So they said that, who are you? Can you tell me why you're here? Uddhavji is numb and he's just sitting. And the gopis are guessing who is he and why is here. So this is the foundation. So the time is almost up. So just keep your heart here and mind here, and we will continue further tomorrow. And further, we'll try to understand and sing. You all have heard this pastime with so much love and devotion. Thank you so much. I especially want to thank the Chatubai and Kamlaben's family, Sri Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Savitri Mata, Sunil Prabhu, Arul Matashi, Manisha Ben, Sanjay Kumar, the whole family. Really, we are really grateful to you that with your pure heart you have arranged for such a divine pastime that we all are able to listen with so much mellow. So let's conclude the session with Jai Jaikar, the second day of this Katha.
आज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण